Hey folks, it's Kary Oberbrunner. I have with me a beautiful young lady, and we're going to be talking about that for real because the guest here, Kathleen Adams, has a business called Second 50 Financial. And you, my friend, believe that the worst thing in the world we can say is that somebody's over the hill or in their second half. Talk to us about that. What do you mean?
Right, because when you do that, as you know that we've discussed, Kary, it puts a clock in people's minds, right? So the second half indicates we're very limited now. We're going to use the old paradigms of how long you're going to live. And to me, the mindset creates a space where there's just not much left to do. And I totally disagree with that. And I think it's completely wrong in today's world.
I am so with you. I'm reading your book right now, and it's so fun because I have an early edition. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love this. You use an example about the Matrix. And if we have some Matrix fans, there's this scene where Neo is meeting this young person who's bending a spoon. And Neo kind of looks at the spoon and he's like confused. How is that happening? And then a little kid turns to him and says, you know, don't try and bend the spoon. Realize that there is no spoon. And you pretty much say that about us with the internal alarm clock. There is no clock. There's really no longer a clock that, hey, lifespans used to be 30 years old, and now we see people living a lot longer. Why? What do you think is going to happen? I know you study technology, neuro, all kinds of stuff, neurobiology. But what are you seeing, Kathleen? Because people could not guess your age. I don't want them to, but you are an enigma.
I don't care if you tell them my age. It's fine.
Tell us how old you are.
I'm 68.
68.
Yep, and 3 grandkids.
68, 3 grandkids. Is that crazy or what, folks? And I'll tell you why that's crazy. I went on a bike trip this morning with 3 people, me included. 2 of them are in their 60s, and they're keeping right up with me. In other words, why are we seeing all this like bending of age today, where it really is just a mindset?
Right. Well, I think the media does it to us a lot, and I think if you look at any kinds of commercials or media dedicated to the second 50 people who are mostly baby boomers, it's pretty negative. It's about how to manage everything that's going wrong with us, and basically just playing with our grandkids and traveling, which is all fine, but it's nothing else. There's nothing else that helps us feel like there's more to this time frame.
You see in your book that you imagine with your granddaughter I think it's your granddaughter, things that you invent. And like the best thing you can do with your kids is show them that you're still dreaming. That's rare. Why is it rare that people who are above 50 still dream?
Well, again, I think it's because a lot of the initial dreams when you're growing up have reached a natural conclusion, right? You've bought your first home, you've had your children, your families maybe built a business. So a lot of those are coming to a natural conclusion and they're not being replaced. But I do believe that part of that is just because we don't think we have enough time to do that. Sometimes maybe we don't think we want to risk doing that, extend ourselves, fail, lose money, be disappointed. But what I say is, and I adore my grandkids. It's all grandsons, by the way.
Okay. All right.
I adore them. And honestly, it's some of the happiest moments of my life is just being with them and enjoying them. However, I think it's very rare that our age group actually lets them see us making new goals. Wouldn't that be fun if you had something you were trying to achieve and you could share it and then do it? That's a brilliant legacy. To me, that's way better than money.
I love this. In your book, you really talk about 3 things. You talk about financial confidence, opportunity expansion, and vitality enhancement. Why do you think we need all three of those things? Finances, opportunity, and vitality.
Well, basically, there's three questions that I think everybody has to answer when they get into this time frame. And the first one is, how am I going to financially manage this time? Because it's
Mm.
different. And this age group, and especially boomers again, we've lived pretty big lives. A lot of us have earned a lot of money, been very successful. So
Wow.
how are we going to continue that as we go forward if we don't have what one of my clients calls fresh money coming in?
Ooh.
Don't. So we've got to figure that out, and we've got to get really confident about that, because I don't think anybody wants to talk about doing more until they feel confident, right? So they can manage that and get a lot of clarity. But the second one then is opportunity expansion, because I believe there's a lot of like-minded people. There's people like me out there that believe maybe there is a little something else I'd like to do, but I've never sat down and thought about, what would I really love to do now?
Wow.
Yeah, what would I love to do? So that's a place you can explore. Resources, people, communities that can help you look at it. It doesn't have to be big. But then the third one is, if we get financially confident, if we maybe want to take advantage of a new idea, a new opportunity, we have to show up healthy and energetic, right?
Yes.
Right. So we can't sit back and do what happens in my conversations all the time. Oh, my back is horrible. I can't possibly do that. I did that when I was young, or I've got this condition now. I think what I'd like to say to boomers in my age group is, the world has changed so dramatically on the health side. And I honestly don't believe the majority of people are aware of it.
No, you and I study this. We're passionate about it, but the things that are happening today technologically are mind-blowing. I mean, there are literally hearts that are being created, and with 3D printers. I mean, I know this sounds like, what the heck is going on? But right now, you and I hang with a guy named Peter Diamandis, and he talks about how hospitals are literally in the near future going to have a section where they are creating parts. And it sounds weird, but now people are waiting so long for organs, and they're just like dying. But we see these technology breakthroughs that here's what I love about your book. And by the way, I'm reading it right now and I am loving it. It's changing. Like, seriously, I was reading your book the other day where you say that all the commercials right now are for older people. They're about like pain management, diminished sex life, and like just stressing out or something. I don't know. That's it. Like, that media is presenting a picture of the second 50. That's not exciting. And that's why people say, I don't want to live long. Right? Is that a
That's
link?
true. And they see some of their friends having problems, people passing away. I think one of the things that is the most frightening to our group is dementia and Alzheimer's. But, honestly, what they don't know is what we know, Kary. We are listening to some of the brightest, most innovative people in the world. It's really through a group that we're in. Dan Sullivan has a group called Lifetime Extenders. And we have access to this information. I want to share access to this information. This is not 15, 20 years out. Some of these breakthroughs and cures and preventions are within the next few years. So you just have to stay healthy. And that's why vitality is a third prong approach to having a really great plan for the second 50. Because we've never had a better chance. And I'll tell you one thing with boomers, we want to feel good. We want to move better. We also want to look better. And the other exciting piece that's going on right now is complete age reversal.
Yes.
It's not anti-aging. So
and I know people hear this from like, they're saying this is sci-fi, but yet I was in the room the other day with is it Dr. Mark Young? I think you know him from the longevity. I was sitting next to Dr. Jeff Gladden. So these are all people that this isn't theory. They literally have clinics
Yep.
that Dr. Jeff I was sitting with, and he said that there are something like 50 areas where your body is rated for age. You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, your lungs could be the lungs of a 30-year-old or an 80-year-old. Like, we just look at the whole body and be like, "Oh, how old are you?" But all this deeper stuff that's happening these days, it's essentially your internal age for different areas of your body, and through the right supplements, nutrition, you're able to literally reverse that.
Yeah, the reversal is coming. Part of what ties this into planning, in my view, is that you have to pay for a lot of these breakthroughs, solutions, medicines, supplements, because traditional medicine won't do it right now. So it's elective. And, if you have an interest and you're as excited as I am about it, then perhaps you can plan for it.
Yeah.
To pay for it, right? And the reason I honestly believe it's so important is just that we are the largest, wealthiest, most highly educated group, the boomers are, to ever move into this age group. And the rest of the world is not really recognizing it because they're viewing us as a crisis versus an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity. Mm-hmm.
So this is great. Talk to us about your business called Second 50 Financial. We have a link here, but some people would be like, whoa, hold on. She's in wealth management, and now she's got a book on vitality enhancement and opportunity expansion and, age reversal. Why do you think this is actually all related?
Well, because I believe that the first thing that happens and the name of my business, Second 50 Financial, so I am addressing people in their second 50 years, but financial confidence tends to get shaken because if you haven't left your business, you know that you will be at a certain point, or at least you want to know that work is optional. So I believe, this is where a new paradigm of planning comes in. The rules of the game have changed, though. COVID showed us that. So, you just have to, in my mind, you need a financial process that's proven that you can trust and get yourself super clear on where you're at and what your game plan is for managing finances in the second 50.
So get this, Kathleen. The world's not talking like this, by the way. I mean, this is abnormal. What you are saying is very rare. Do you agree?
I think so.
But I think it's changing.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm excited about this, my buddy Chet, I think he'll be 65. He's right now planning with me a trip to ride the same routes as the Tour de France next June. And this is his 5th time going over the last 15 years. That's unheard of. I mean, you used to hear of 65. You used to have doctors be like, "Whoa, hold on, don't leave your sofa chair." You know what I'm saying? Why do we need to? Are you the one who calls it not healthcare, but I don't know, what do you call it? Are you someone who basically says that we need to be our own advocates? Like, we can't. Doctors are not the enemy, but you can't wait for the doctor to tell you what to do.
No, yeah, I think it's just taking charge of your own health. I fully believe in the doctors. All of the traditional medicine, the emergency care, the surgical procedures, much of that is very, very much needed. I'm just saying this is the time to start integrating some of the newest ideas. And if you think it's sci-fi and just something that's crazy out there, then what about my group 20 years ago before iPhones? Not in a million years would we think we'd be using an iPhone like a computer and talking to each other that way, right? So I just think it's going to be a while before mainstream medicine and certainly before insurance companies will acknowledge that there's more. But it doesn't need to stop us. There are definitely still things we can do, if we understand and we have a desire. And there are a lot of people, like you said, Kary. I know people too who are going for it.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at our coach, Dan Sullivan. He's writing 4 books a year. I just was at his house Monday night for a party. Then he had another party Tuesday night. Then he had another party Thursday night. Now I'm going to Toronto next week with him. I mean, another guy that I hang with, his name is Dan Miller, Dan Miller's in his 70s. I guess I hang out with dudes in their 70s, but the thing is, like, I'd rather hang out with some of those people than early 30 people. And I'm not saying that as like all early 30 people, but I'm just saying that there's a quote out there that says most people die at 25 but aren't buried until 75.
Wow.
Yeah. In other words, they die to their dreams. They die to their potential. I remember meeting a guy in his 20s. He's like, yeah, my time's passed. I already blew my college years. It's over. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh.
That's common.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
So talk about what do you ultimately want to see with your book? Like, your book comes out in the fall, and you got Second 50 Financial. Do you want this book just to be read? Do you want to create a movement? What does that look like? If people are listening to this and they're tagging friends that are over 50, what do you want? What's your ultimate dream?
My dream is to bring people back together in their second 50 years. And, you know, this group, this large group of people who are in their second 50 have been changing the world their whole lives. They're the agents of change. We have done that. I feel like, why waste wealth, wisdom, and experience?
Ooh.
We've got it. We've got it. And I understand it's not easy to be at home every day and trying to think about what else you might do. It's not. So my goal is to see if we could start a small movement of bringing communities together of like-minded people. Maybe they have a like-minded interest. Maybe they have a like-minded profession and have no idea if there's something else they might want to do. Maybe they want to solve a problem. But it's really more about, if we could get small groups together, I believe the mastermind effect would take over. The energy of being with each other and talking, and then we can continue to impact the world in a really positive way. I believe it's very probable that we can do it. I just want to help make it more possible.
I met your husband in Dublin, Ohio, back in May, I think it was. You're just a fantastic couple. You both are good for each other. Yeah. Oh yeah. You remember when your husband sat on that motorcycle?
Yes.
And we took a picture. But I believe that, Dan Sullivan talks about novelty as one of the most important things. When we run out of, I think, friends, money, purpose, novelty, he puts that in the category, which I thought was very interesting, but it's so true. I believe that what keeps us young is not being stuck in a rut, not eating the same thing, not going to the same place, not listening to the same music. When you do that, your brain doesn't have to work. You're on autopilot. What do you do to inject novelty in your life? What are you still doing, or what's something new that you've done recently?
So 100% agree with you, first of all. To me, there's a couple things you can do. One is you have to try to continue to meet new people. I think a lot of us stay in our same conversations with our same group, and it's nice. I love the familiarity, but you have to meet new people to get fresh ideas.
That's good.
And something that we're calling sort of reverse mentoring. It's fun to get to know younger people again, because there's a lot to learn from each other. It's really exciting. And for me, I got an interest in quantum physics about 5 years ago, of all things.
Yeah.
I got into quantum physics. I started joining some new groups that were exploring that. And that really opened me up to new ideas.
Yeah, you recommended a book to me recently. I read it, and that's a way that I bring novelty in my life, literally, audiobooks. To have a 10-hour or 8-hour conversation with someone that I would never chat with on a topic that I'm not even familiar with. It does. It opens new neural pathways. You begin to see pattern recognition. Um, what do your kids think of you? Do they think you're nuts?
Yeah, they know I'm sort of nuts.
Yeah.
But they're magnificent. One of them is a lot more on the conservative side. She actually works with me.
Yeah.
She's just brilliant at doing what she does, but she knows who I am. The other one is a little more like me, I think.
Yeah.
But I think both of them recognize they're happy
Mm.
that I'm just looking out at my next 20 years of what I want to do, not sitting at home. So
Yes.
I know I made their lives better that way.
Oh, I'm proud of my parents that are just 70-ish, 70, 71. But I'm really proud of them because they're doing new things. My mom wrote her first book about 67, and I love people that are any age, but they're saying, I'm going to create. I'm going to keep creating. In my book, we were created in God's image to create. And I think when we move from creator to consumer, I think it's pretty sad. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yes, that's a good term, creator to consumer, because that's another thing we're doing in our second 50, especially with more time and freedom and money.
Wow.
We're consuming, we're
Yeah.
buying a lot of things and moving to the next new thing. I think it's stimulating for a lot of people to do that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just, I'm positive that people would have more fun if they just were exposed to new ideas in some way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and you go to workshops 4 times a year, and I see you at some of those, and you're stretching yourself. So I think that, yeah, when we get beyond this controlled situation, um, you use a term called reverse mentoring. I'm going to ask Ricky, who's managing our comments, to tag Tim Elmore, because Dr. Tim Elmore was on the other day. He's going to be speaking at the conference too, but he talked about that reverse mentoring. I really think you're onto something. He talks about with the space program that they paired up 20 somethings back in the 60s with much older people, because the new people knew the technology, but the old people had like the business sense, and
Mm-hmm.
and together they make an incredible team.
Right.
So I even like how your business has multi generations.
It does. Yes. And I think you're right. The team approach is going to be mind blowing. It really is, because I combine right wisdom, wealth, and the, the, the beautiful minds of the young people now who've grown up with technology. And, we could, yeah, who knows what we could do.
It's exciting. Well, listen, folks, Kathleen Adams, second50financial.com. Check her out. She's got a brand new website coming, or maybe it's already out or started. But you are literally attracting right now some major players. I see that books are coming out, David Sinclair, Lifespan, and it almost seems like there's this emergence happening
Right.
where a lot of people, thought leaders like yourself, are coming together and having a voice. And so, Kathleen's somebody you're going to want to follow. And I'm telling you, your book is really good.
Thank
Uh,
you so much, Kary.
it's fun. I heard you speak it, and it's just shaping in this incredible way. I'm excited about the movement, and I would just encourage people, if you are over 50, which, believe it or not, I'm only 5 years away. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
But
you're so old.
I don't feel like that at all, though. I really don't, and that's the key, because there are some people who, like I said, are 30 and they feel like they're 90. So, folks, today realize that age is just a mindset. But her 3 keys today were financial confidence, and you can look her up and her business to find out more about that. Then we have opportunity expansion, and then we have vitality enhancement. And I think those 3 Kathleen, are really powerful. Anything you want to say to the person who's, over 50, thinking that their life's done today? Any last word you want to say?
Yeah, please don't think that. We're not our parents. Please remember that. And as Warren Buffett said, because this amuses me, we are the people our parents warned us about. So let's just stay that way. Let's get out there and continue to do things and inspire the world so we can do a better job for the planet. I'd love to do it.
That's so good. Thanks for being here, and can't wait to have you speak at the conference. And I know people are going to be majorly blessed. So thanks, Kathleen. You have a great
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. We'll see you.